What is going on, guys? We're back with another video today, and we're doing another non-Madden video. It's probably the first time, other than just days where we didn't upload, which has been a long time, where we just haven't done Madden in the entire day. So that's refreshing. Of course, there's a lot of YouTubers, Madden YouTubers specifically, that have been doing these lists. I know Wheels has done a Madden ranking list. I know Bengal has done, of course, a quarterback ranking list. Both very good videos. Take a look at those. Definitely inspired by them. Really, today's videos have been inspired by Bengal, of course. I would love for him to continue doing quizzes, but it's been a little while, buddy. But, of course, we're going to do a little list of our own. I think there's another one I want to do. I want to do a jersey tiers. I know a lot of different YouTubers have done, ranking their favorite jerseys. I need to find a good list, though. I kind of want to do, like, that team's best jersey. Everyone agrees that the powder blue Chargers, which I think has kind of become a normal jersey for them, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really remember. Like the best of the best, ranking all that. But we'll see. But of course, we're going to do this for now. And we're going to base this off of course, it's NFL Team Tier List Maker. I don't know. That's the one I found. We're going to base this off of last year's success combined with this year's roster, after the draft and all that. So it's not going to be super easy. I might forget a few teams. I don't know every single team's free agent acquisitions. I know most of the big ones. I know there's going to be a lot of teams from last year that will be worse or better than this year. So I don't think I'm going to have a specific order. I may just try to get the teams that aren't very good out of the way. I don't even know if I'm going to have a team in the S category. I'm really not sure. So I'm not really sure what I want to rank these. So S is a team that actually, no, we will have an S, because we'll kind of turn this into a really early Super Bowl prediction video. So S will go to the team I think is going to win the Super Bowl. It'd be really cool if these were actually made into division. So let's just start with the AFC East. I'm going to go and put the Dolphins at an F. I know there's going to be some dislikes. Who wouldn't expect it? I'm a Packers fan. I don't even know where the hell I'm going to put them. I would say somewhere in this range. Probably not A, though. So the Dolphins, unfortunately, will be an F. They're still a bottom 3 roster. I think they did all right. The Rose, they did pretty damn well maneuvering the draft, and then the Rosen trade, that's a very good trade for them, no doubt. Patriots, they lost a bit. We may change this at some point, but I'm going to put the Patriots in an A. I'll put them at an A for now. Bills, I really like their defense. Offensively, I'm not a huge fan. B, where do I place team like the Colts? They must be an A too. Well, I guess to be fair, the Colts probably would be an A. But the Jets, I'm going to put them in a C as well. I think the Bills are better than the Jets. I just don't think they're quite a B. So I'd put them in a C, right in the middle if I could. C+, and then just a C. Maybe a little harsh on the Dolphins for an F, but I just don't think they're there yet. Now let's do the NFC East. Let's continue the trend. So the Cowboys, I think, are at a B. I think Dak and Cooper, those guys are going to really make them go down to a D, because they're going to start being able to not be able to afford anybody, which is going to be a problem, obviously. The Giants, I like their offensive playmakers. I know Odell's gone, but I don't really like what they did in the draft, but I do like their receivers still. I think they have a decent skill position set still, even without Odell. Defensively is a little rough, but I think they're just a bit better than the Dolphins, so I think they have to go a tier above. Eagles we're going to put into a B category as well. Of course, it comes down to Wentz if he can stay healthy. I think the Eagles still have a really talented team. I think we're going to factor this one in based on the record more than anything. I think the Eagles would be a B+, with the Cowboys being a B. The Redskins we're going to put at a D. I think they did well in the draft as well, but they still have some issues, specifically with playmakers. Wide receivers, a little bit of an issue. Guys coming off of a huge injury. Is he going to be the number one running back there? The defense is on the older side. I think D is right there. I think the defensive line is pretty nice for the Redskins as well. This is tough because I can't really put the Jets over the Redskins, can I? We're going to swap them. Redskins are going to move up to C. Jets are down to a D. And with that, more dislikes have come along. Now let's go with the AFC West. The Chargers I'm going to put all the way at an A. I think they have one of the best complete teams in the NFL. Of course, the draft wasn't super fun for them, but they filled needs that they had to fill. I think they did a good job in the draft considering they had a late pick, and they took some of the better players on the board for the positions they needed. They didn't really go best available. They really just went best available for need. And now Chiefs, we're going to put at a B. Honestly, they could easily be in the C. I know it's crazy to say, but honestly, Mahomes is carrying that team. I'd hate to say it, but Mahomes is entering a Rodgers territory right now where he is by far the best player on his team, and his weapons are diminishing. Of course, unfair for him because really it's off-field issues for the skill positions. You know, there's a good chance Tyreek doesn't see the field next year. If he does, it's going to be an interesting one for the Chiefs to try and explain, you know, how you get rid of Kareem Hunt and then you get a guy that's even worse, in my opinion, and you keep him on the team just because it's a more important position. And, of course, obviously he's a bigger difference maker. But Chiefs are a B. I think they took a huge step back this offseason, no question about it. Broncos, I think, are a C. I really like what they did in the draft. They added some really talented players. They address need. They're not, I mean, obviously with the drafting of Locke, they're not all in on Joe Flacco. So, obviously, the Broncos, I think they're close to B. They've got some defensive pieces that are nice, but they do have a lot of holes, so I think C is perfect for them. And then the Raiders, this is tough because I don't think they have a very good roster, but they did all right in the offseason. They did pay a lot of money. I'm really having a tough time. I think I'll give them a C as well. I think the Raiders definitely turned around a lot quicker than we all thought. You know, once we saw Matt go, it's like, yikes. And then we saw all these other moves. It's just like, yeah, the Raiders are kind of rough. And then, you know, they added some decent pieces. They drafted okay. I think Josh Jacobs may have been not really a reach, but a reach in the terms of it's a running back. So I don't know if it was really necessarily a need. I mean, as a need, I just don't think they needed to take one. At least so high, I suppose. So let's go to the NFC West. I think the Niners are a very good team. I think wide receiver is still a little bit of a factor for them. I really want to put them in the B category. I really do, because they have one of the best front sevens. Man, this is tough because there's no in-between. Like, I don't think they're a C team, but I think they'd be a B-. So I'm going to give them a B-. And then the Niners, it really comes down to how Jimmy Garoppolo plays. Was it a fluke, 5-6 games, whatever the hell he played? I can't even remember. We'll find out. I think he does need a couple more options at receiving talent. I think they have a decent team, though. Tevin Coleman's going to be an interesting guy because he's kind of their number one running back right now. But the Niners are actually a really good team. They got really good in the offseason. Cardinals, I'm going to give them a D. I think Murray is going to, it's really more about Murray and Kingsbury, honestly, because they still have a lot of holes. They still have a lot of holes. But I think that offense could still do well. I really do. I think there's some missing pieces, but they did well in the receiving category, and they got a steal with Hakeem Butler, and Andy Isabella is going to be a nice player for them. I think they're easily a D team, but nothing more than that. This one's going to be one that's rough for me. Seahawks. They did what they had to do in the offseason to get cheaper, but they did pay Russell, which is going to put them in a rough spot. I'm going to actually take a look at their draft again before I make the decision on that one. Man, this is going to be a tough one because they did lose quite a bit of players, and they replaced them with definitely not adequate, guys like Earl Thomas is gone. Of course, we know about Doug Baldwin now. Metcalf, I think, is a good, steal, really big steal in fairness. I'm having a tough time putting them in the B category. I like Wilson. I think if you take Wilson out, they're not even, maybe a D category. So this is a tough one. Man, there's going to be so many dislikes if I put him in the C. Oh, God. Seattle. I just think that defense is really... I don't understand how it's played so well, considering they constantly lose. Like the Legion of Boom consists of Wagner. He's the last one. It's crazy, isn't it? Cam's gone. I gotta put him at a C. I'm sorry. I have to. I don't think they did enough in the draft. I think in free agency they lost a lot of guys. They couldn't afford people. I know they got Ansah recently. They're the best in C. Okay, I'll put it that way. So I'm sorry, Seahawks fans. Maybe I'm salty because they beat the Packers a lot. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why. The Rams, of course, an A. Honestly, If it wasn't for Jared Goff playing so poorly in the Super Bowl, I'd put them in an S. I really would. You know what? I'm going to move for right now. Chargers are my pick for the Super Bowl. I'm trying to think of if they lost anyone. I don't think they really did they? They're my pick for the Super Bowl this year, for right now. We'll keep them there for now. So speaking of Super Bowl picks, let's move on to the South. Saints, of course, in A. There's no question about it. They have a great roster. I don't remember their draft. Obviously, they didn't have a first-round pick. They traded that to the Packers. I don't remember their draft at all, actually. Oh, yeah, they took Johnson and Eric McCoy. Got the standings up there. Huh, interesting. Yeah, they're definitely an A team, no question about it, though. Falcons, this is a tough one. I like that offense a lot. I really do. Offense is killer. I'm going to put them in a B. I know, they and the Packers definitely had an interesting season, put it that way. But Falcons are a B. I think they'll turn it around. Defense just needs to step up. Offense needs to be more consistent, of course. Buccaneers, I like what they did. I just don't know about Jameis Winston. I mean, they've got for the last 3 years, they've been one of the better receiving corps in the entire league. Defense, they've got pieces. Devin White could be big. It's just if I put them here, are they really as good as the Seahawks? The Seahawks need to be man. I just don't like the defensive losses of the Seahawks this year. That's why I can't put them higher. But they're definitely better than everyone else in the tier. People are going to hate the hell out of me for this. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Seahawks fans. That's just the way it's going to be. And then the Panthers, I don't think they're a good team at all. I really don't. We're just going to slap them in the C. I'm sorry. Maybe I could preserve some views and people disliking because of the crapping on their team. But I don't know. I just don't think the Panthers are that great of a team. I think Cam it's unbelievable. I've always kind of thought Cam wasn't a good QB, but then you look at what the talent around him and the fact that he's able to still do things. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me. I don't know. I think the Panthers are kind of in a Colts situation. Andrew Luck and Cam are in kind of they were in a similar situation. Obviously, Andrew actually has some talent around him now, but yeah, I don't know how the hell the Panthers even somewhat compete with the talent around them. So then we go with the AFC South. The Texans are a very solid team. I really want to put them in an A, but I think I'm going to put them in a B+. Texans are a really good team. I like them. Is Watson a great quarterback? I don't know. I think the offense does enough. I think it's really all about that defense, of course. I mean, who wouldn't expect that? The Texans, obviously, they addressed offensive line in the draft. Super freaking reach. I mean, only time will tell, but reached hard as hell. Hopefully, he's a good player for them because that Texans offensive line is definitely holding them back majorly. And then with the Texans at B, call me crazy, but I like the Colts drafting. I really do. I don't know about this year necessarily. Yeah, I kind of like what they did. They took a couple of linebackers high. They took Paris Campbell. That was a great pick. They got they went with a cornerback. They did what people tell you not to do. They drafted for need. They said, you know what? Who cares? We're drafting late. We want to get some players that we actually need. So that's what they did. I already like the team going forward in general. I think the defense definitely improved through the drafts. The Colts are an excellent example of all it takes is one draft. I know it's crazy because the Texans were better than the Colts. I think they're very close, and I'd say Colts A-. Of the people in the A, the Colts are definitely the lowest. Texans are B+. They're very close. Very close. Titans, I really don't. I think Titans are another a C team. I think they have a lot of average and above average players. I think the offensive line is great. I do actually like their defense. I think their defense is pretty good. I think they keep going with wide receivers, which is interesting. They're a C+ team. I think if we have the Seahawks here, I think it's fair enough to have the Titans. I forgot you can actually make a proper list. Let me do that real quick. So now it's a little bit more accurate. You have the Seahawks at the highest of the C category, barely missing out on the B. And then we have the Falcons at the lowest B. I think this is pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. Maybe the C, and there's so many teams in the C, maybe we have a couple off. And then we have the Jags, which I'm going to put at the very lowest B. I know it's crazy to think they're coming off of a 5-11 season, but Nick Foles, even though a lot of people are saying he's a system QB, and I kind of agree, he could easily flop. I love what the Jags did in the offseason. They went best available in pretty much every aspect of the offseason, and I think they've definitely pushed themselves back into that easily playoff contention. The problem is that division is very competitive, so they might end up having to steal the final wild card spot. That's, based on talent, I think they're in the B- range, but based on success, they're probably in the C range just because of that division. And then all we have left is the North. Since I'm a Packers fan, we'll go last with the Packers division. Of course, the best team on paper in the AFC North is the Browns, and I'm going to move them all the way to right behind the Texans. I think the Chiefs, honestly, you could even put them a little bit lower. Once again, I think they lost so many key players. It's going to be tough for them. Steelers, another team that lost a lot of key players. I really don't want to put them in the C range. We're going to put the Steelers at the second. Well, here we go. Let's move this. We're going to put the Steelers right in there. I think that's a fair ranking for them. The Ravens, they're a C. They're going to be a C over the Raiders, though. They lost a lot of players as well. They still, even with Marquise Brown, they still didn't add enough offensive talent, I don't think. And then let's go with the final team, the Bengals, which I just think are just not a good team. They really aren't. That was a very quick one. AFC North, I think, is pretty easy, in my opinion. I think that's a fair ranking. Where do we put everyone else? Ravens in there. The Bengals. I think that's fair. Now the NFC North, my quote-unquote favorite division, since I'm a Packers fan, kind of have to be. The Packers, I think, have done an amazing... No, we're not going to... Nope. We're going to go with the Lions, which are an E team. I think they have some pieces. I just don't think in Stafford's time they're going to make a playoff run. I think, obviously, once again, it comes down to where your drafts are. Of course, Hawkinson, that's a decent pick. I suppose they had bigger needs, but the main thing is, right now, I don't think they're there. I think they're above the Giants for sure. I'm going to put them in the D. I think the Giants and Dolphins are in their own leagues, literally here. I will put the Lions as the second best team in the D League, though, here. Let's move on to the Vikings, which I think are still a B talent team above the Falcons. The Bears have an amazing roster. They lost some guys. I hesitate to put them in the A rank because I think Trubisky is the biggest definition of a system quarterback. And I think he makes quick decisions, and they are usually pretty good. I just think as a pure quarterback, when it comes to actually, like, let's say we throw anyone's scheme in, you throw 32 coaches in, he has to play for one coach every single week, he doesn't do well. But in that scheme, he does really well. I think they're the top of the B. I'm going to give them a top of the B rank. Very damn close to an A. You can kind of maybe debate Colts and Bears should swap. I just think Andrew Luck makes them that much better. We're down to the final team. My favorite team, the Packers. There's no chance I put them in the A, let's just be honest. I think we still have a lot of needs. Offensive line, I think we addressed decently, but of course, after this season, guys like Bulaga and Mike Daniels could be gone. I think on paper, this Packers team is easily a playoff team. I'm going to put them right in between the Chiefs and the Niners. I think, once again, this list is made up of tons of potentials based on just the roster additions, based on what they, the flashes they showed in the previous year. Obviously, a team like the Browns on paper looks to be one of the best teams in the AFC. They could go freaking 4-12 for all we know. Maybe it's too soon. I don't know. This is my ranking, though. I think this is pretty fair. I have the Chargers winning the Super Bowl. It's going to be a tough one. I really do like the Chargers on paper. I think they're pretty locked down. The offense has lots of weapons. Hunter Henry's coming back. That's going to be a very potent offense. There's no question about it. The question is that offensive line up to the challenge? That's the one thing I worry about for them. The Saints would probably be very close to that. Actually, let's rearrange this because the Patriots are definitely not the best roster. Tom Brady's great, but not the best roster. I want to make sure this is my final ranking here. I think I like what I've done here. A lot of teams in the B, which is pretty fair. A lot of teams in the 8 to 11 win range, 10 win range, really, in predictions. I think this is a fair ranking. even though there's going to be dislikes because, you know, there's going to be a Dolphins fan that thinks their team's the Super Bowl champion coming up. You know, there's going to be a Giants fan that thinks that Daniel Jones is the next Peyton Manning. But overall, I think this is very fair. I really do. I know there's going to be some people like, Packers? Really? On paper, we made some great moves on the defense. We've bolstered ourselves into a top 10, pretty damn close to a top 10 defense on paper. Who damn knows? We could go 0-16. I would cry and never watch football again. But this is my ranking. Let me know if there's a different list maker thing you want me to do. There's enough leeching off a Bengal for one day. Check his channel out, please. Yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. Yeah, I liked this list. I really did. We'll probably do the jersey one at some point, maybe. And I don't know if we're going to do players. I think that may be a little too much heat for my liking. We'll see. What the hell do these gears do? I don't care about that. What the hell would I care about colors? So it tells you, okay, so I mean, it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, maybe subscribe. We do tons of Madden stuff. And, you know, as it gets even later into Madden, which, of course, Madden 19's kind of on that deader side, we'll probably do more stuff like this. Probably try to spread it out a little bit more. Maybe we'll play completely different games. Who knows? But speaking of different games, follow me on my second channel, PKer Plays. Usually in the top line of the description, or very close to. Play different games. I'm trying to, you know, record right now a different series I want to try to finish. So we'll get to that, of course. Maybe if you have a game suggestion. I have tons of games. I have like 200 games that I could download right now. Some are indie, but a lot are like, you know, BioShock, Fallout, Borderlands, stuff like that. So let me know in the comments section if you're interested in any of that. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Maybe like the video. I've covered it all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you know, if you made a list maker thing, send me a screenshot on Twitter and tell me, you know, show me what you think. Once again, Jeromepkr on Twitter. Send me a screenshot if you did this exact one. Maybe I'll leave this in the comment section or, you know, top line of the comment section or the top line of the description. You can do it yourself. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back to the next video. But until next video,